Alright guys, what is up and welcome back to Garry's Mod. So today we're going to be taking a look at another top 10 list featuring the top 10 NPCs. Now just to clarify, this list will also include super NPCs or NPCs alike, and also a disclaimer that this is completely based on my opinion. None of these are by far probably the best mods in the world, but to me, they're some of my favorites that I've found, and this is a list that I really wanted to make, and I made a list about a week ago about best maps, and I figured, you know what, it's time for best NPCs, so let me know what you guys think, and without further ado, on to the list. So starting with number 10, we have the Sonic R NPCs. Now, I just had to include this because I think this is like one of the cutest little mods that there is for NPCs. So, Sonic R is actually a video game that is a racing game, and it was for, I think, one of the Sega systems. I believe it's like the Dreamcast or something. I'm not too sure about that, but the funny thing about this mod is they're ported into Garry's mod perfectly, I think, and they waddle around and stuff, and the reason why it's number 10 is because they're not very intelligent. They just kind of waddle around and do their own thing. It's cute to watch, but, you know, if you want some serious NPCs, this is definitely not the mod for you, but it's just one of my favorites, and I think it's really cool that they actually ported the Sonic R NPCs into Garry's mod. It just kind of blew my mind for a moment. It was a fun video I did, though. So that's number 10. Up next to number 9, which is another NPC I did a video on, is actually the dog NPC. Now, when I did the video, it was actually more of like a story-ish, psychotic kind of thing. But the cool thing about this NPC is it's just your fellow companion. He follows you around. I believe he even attacks NPCs, which he does. He protects you. He's like your own little personal guardian. And the thing I love about this guy the most is that it's a dog. Now, I've done a cat one as well, but this dog one is just so loyal, and I would definitely make him my number 9. It was between the dog or the cat though when I chose the dog. So he's a really cool little guy, and he's my number 9 pick. Up next, and again we're coming back to Sonic, is Sanic. Now, if you guys saw my recent Ouija video, he's just like Sanic, and Sanic is a crazy mofo. Now, he's actually a very, very, very intelligent NPC, which is why it makes me kind of sad to put him on number 8, but that's just because there's so many other good NPCs that I have on this list. But Sanic is a very intelligent NPC that learns the map that you're on, and then chases you down, and does whatever it takes to kill you, and he is fast, and very intelligent. He'll even hide, kind of creep around a bit, and he's a very hilarious NPC, and honestly kind of terrifying. And terrifying is definitely the subject of this next one. I give you number 7, SCP-173. Just makes sense that there's a 7 in there. Now, you guys are probably pretty familiar with the SCP Foundation. It's just a kind of a bunch of tales of these creepy objects or creatures that have numbers based on them, and they do these certain things that classify them as either dangerous or just abnormal. Unfortunately, SCP-173 goes into that more dangerous section, and he acts sort of like a weeping angel, where if you look at him, he doesn't move, you turn around and he's out of sight, he gets closer or does something very disastrous, and you could tell that this is just aiming up to be one of the scariest NPCs there is, and it was very fun to actually mess around with this guy. Number 6 is something that we're also going to be looking at that is also sort of scary, is the Alien Isolation Xenomorph. Now, the creepy thing about this guy is he is actually specifically made for a particular map, with a particular set of mods that I also did a video on, and it was very, very engrossing. I did a video with my friend Josh, and we were actually playing along, and we had to hunt him down. He would go through vents, pop out, sneak up on you, and then he would go back in the vents and find some other way to sneak around you to try to get you without you knowing he's there. Very, very, very terrifying, but a very cool and intelligent mod. That's my fan starting up. And this is why he's definitely my number 6 pick. Moving up to number 5 is something a little bit more mythical. We have the Dragon NPC. Now, this was actually one of the first mods I ever looked at, and it is jaw-dropping the first time I ever spotted this NPC in. An actual flying, full-fledged dragon that even spits fire at you, and sometimes hurtles towards you at like neck-breaking speeds, which is somewhat terrifying. But this dragon kind of acts like an ordinary dragon. There's not really anything too special. I mean, the Alien Isolation Xenomorph and the SCP-173 NPC both have a lot more complex natures, I think, but the dragon NPC is something that you wouldn't expect in Garry's mod. A flippin' dragon! So that's why he's my number 5. Up to number 4, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate, excuse me, for putting this so low to the list. I mean, it is number 4, so it's not too low, but the HalfLife Renaissance NPCs. Now, this is basically a massive pack of NPCs that was originally in the original Half-Life game, and if you guys have played Half-Life, you'll know every single one of these NPCs, and I believe even a few of them were in the beta that weren't even in the final release. But these NPCs act as much as you'd expect, they do everything that they would do in the game, and it's very intriguing to have them in such a modern game, yet keep their original models. And they're very fun to mess around with. I also did a video on this as well, so that kind of works out. And it's a really cool pack, and I think a lot of people do love this mod, so it kind of hurts me to put it at number 4, but there's a lot more NPCs that are coming up within the next 3. Coming up to number 3, we have the Starship Trooper NPCs. Now this is another thing that's similar to the Dragon NPC, to where when I actually saw this in Garry's mod, it blew my mind, because I never really saw the Starship movies. I didn't even know it was a movie when I did the mod, but I was blown away by these things. There was huge bugs. There's even a giant one that like stomps and stuff and spits stuff at you. There's a plethora of different ones that you can spawn, and they're very, very, very fun to fight against. I did a video with some of my friends, and it was hilarious and fun to do. And again, it was just the wow factor. Spawning these guys in and saying, what the frick? Giant freaking bugs? So I also like that because it also has a good variety. So the variety and the wow factor are the two things that got me to put it at number 3. Number 2, and we're getting very narrow, is the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 NPCs. Now, whoa, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but please, just take a second to really appreciate the detail and the amount of effort that we're put into these NPCs, and the fear that they have struck into me within the multiple videos that their iterations have caused. So, the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 one, the reason why they're number 2 instead of Five Nights at Freddy's 1, 2, 3, blah blah blah, Springtrap, the reason why is because when I spawned these guys in that maze, that video, it was one of the few times during recording that I was almost too terrified to record a video. I've been terrified while recording so many times, but having those nightmare NPCs chase you in a dark maze is unnerving, to say the least. But it's a very good pack. ErrolLiamP and his brother, I believe, they both do amazing mods, and props to you guys make awesome stuff. Drumroll please, I'll probably have the same drumroll effect going on right now, but that's okay, is SCP-096. I know you're probably saying, oh man, another SCP, blah, but please hear me out. And I wasn't mocking you, I apologize, but SCP-096 is unique in his own way. Because you walk up to him, he's some lonely dude that's depressed, the model looks great. You walk up and you're like, what's wrong with this dude? You stare at him, and that is when you make your first mistake. Because he gets up on all legs, starts flipping the frick out, and you better run. But it doesn't even matter, because he's programmed to follow you no matter where you are. I did a video on this, and it's gotten so many views because of this reason. When you go into any room, you lock the door, he'll scream like bloody murder and bust that damn door down and gut you like you're a turkey in Thanksgiving. And I'm not even kidding, and he won't even use the good kind of stuffing either. It's pretty bad and very terrifying hearing that scream from across the map, knowing he's coming for you and there's nothing you could do to avoid him. So that is why he's my number 1 pick, because of the fear and the uniqueness of that NPC. That is going to conclude this top 10, guys. If you guys agreed, let me know. If you disagreed, let me know what your favorite NPCs are and why you disagreed. And if you like this video and the format that it's in, if you want me to do more top 10s, leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this, guys, because I love doing these videos and I want to do more top 10s, because it's something that's different for Garry's mod for me. I never usually do these kind of videos that often, so I want to change that. So that's going to conclude it, guys. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter down below, and I'll put all the links down below for you guys to put in your own Garry's mod. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Until next time, farewell.